When I was a kid, the thing I wanted the most were these shiny plugins that look quite analog, and they promise that everything's going to be fine. Your mix is going to be way better. I thought that was the solution to my crappy mixes. And I wanted to check out today the thing from Acustica Audio, Stone. It's a free channel strip. And hopefully it being free doesn't mean that it's bad. So let's see what that sounds like. The first thing I wanted to do is run it through. I just wanted to see what's happening, at least what the plugin doctor can show me is happening in the background before I run it on an example, because the most important thing in the end is what it sounds like. But is that special enough to really separate it so much from maybe something you have built into your DAW, maybe your, I don't know, Cubase, Ableton, Wavelab, whatever you're using? So let's see. This is quite simple to say the least. It's an EQ, has some filters, has some saturation, has some surround. So let's see what that sounds like and what it actually does, what it shows us it's doing, and then check it out on a real example. So the first things first, this is completely flat. Just some EQ. Okay, it's just gonna affect one side. Okay, so I can turn that into an MS EQ. Oh, nice. Since this is showing us the sum, I guess it's not gonna show us the MS thing. It's an EQ. It can turn itself into an MS EQ. Nice. This is a shelf. Shelf actually does kind of that, a little bit of that pull tech thing. See, a kind of a dip and then a shelf going down to whatever, 5 hertz even. So let's see what that sounds like later on a real live example. So kind of a pull tech thing. Does it work? Yeah, it's identical, somewhat going negative. And what about the highs? Okay, so that just works on the highs. It does control everything a bit. So you see everything went down. What is that? 1.3, 1.4 dB. So the entire signal went down. It happened. Is that the same on the right? Yeah, of course it is. We could connect these two so that they work in tandem. It was nice to have the 0 as a reference. Okay, so this is down. What's up? Up, it also boosts everything. It's kind of like a shelf endlessly pushing towards a goal that's higher than 20K. So, okay, nice shelf. Let's see what that sounds like later. Usually these kinds of curves are really cool and pleasant to the ear. They sound quite musical, as they say. Musical, natural. And that was the highs and the lows. This is the mids. Okay, so the mids are here. So let's see the frequency. So it looks continuous, but it's not continuous. Yeah, it will jump once I let go of the knob. Okay, so it has 4 values basically for the mids. So it's not continuous. It looks like it's turning, but once you let go, it's gonna land itself on 1.4, 2.8, 4, and 5.6 kilohertz. Those are cool frequencies. I like those. 2.8, quite annoying, almost always, depends. The thing is, we can't go negative with these, so we can only boost the mids. The bass and the lows, the shelves can go up and down, the mids can only be boosted. So let's check out the pre-drive. Okay, so let's see what that looks like in harmonics. So without it, nice and clean, and with it, pre-drive. So some harmonics added. And I can now go to, let's say, surround depth. It's just also going to do something. Let's go back to linear analysis. Look at that. Kind of a spring looking like EQ curve that spans what? Almost 2 point something dBs up and down. Does that move? Oh, it does. It goes down in kind of like a comb filter almost, I'd say. I mean, not really a comb filter. That would be something else. But yeah, it has that kind of quality. At least in the bottom part of it. Probably it's not a comb filter sounding thing. Ooh, look at that, almost a comb filter. So this is surround intensity is insane. I can't wait to hear this on a real live example. And this is only the drive. So when you do the drive completely, that doesn't really happen. And we can even turn it off to avoid it. So this is a lot of harmonics. Let's see how much is a lot of harmonics, less harmonics, all the way there. So they start like minus 75. And then when I go up, start at minus 50. Okay, so it's almost 25 dBs more harmonics. When I do that, I can go even louder. So it does add a lot of harmonics. This seems like so by the pattern of this, it looks like aliasing. I have no oversampling, by the way. Okay, I guess that's less. Is it? It's under minus 150 dBs. Who cares? Honestly, like, yeah, who cares? If you can really hear this on some music that has really high dynamic range. I found very few places where you can hear that aliasing happening. It really has to be super bad for you to notice that. But it's dirt, so you try to avoid dirt, you try to engage some oversampling to avoid. Now, when you do oversampling, you engage the filter as well. So, it's a double-sided sword. Depends what kind of filter that is. Let's not go into details about it. So the harmonics looks nice. The EQ is nice. We also have some filters right here. So we have a cut filter. Okay, nice. That's a cut filter. Cool. And then we have a cut filter for the highs. Okay, that's also smooth. And that looks cool for, let's say, 48 kilohertz as well. It does. Does it really change? No, it doesn't. So it doesn't really change in between these. And what about the phase? Okay, even this phase thing is not that crazy, knowing that there is a filter right here that happens all the time. So maybe if I turn off the drive, yeah, see that no filter in the bottom. You see, none of this phase oscillation happens when you don't have that surround thing happening. Okay, but let's leave it on. Still, that flip is happening way outside our hearing. So it's quite normal, looks quite normal. I don't think this is anything like preposterous happening here. So this is quite fine. Let's hear a real live example. And when I bypass, nothing. That's also really nice. What does this sound like on music? I'm just gonna shut up and try out some of these settings. Well, I guess this is not meant to be on your master track, since as soon as you do the 20 hertz cut, it really goes far further than 20 hertz, and that 20 hertz is cut a lot more, so everything even above it. I mean, we saw that on the graph, so I wouldn't really engage this. And of course, maybe I wouldn't even engage this on a master, but I think it's the easiest way to hear what it sounds like on a whole song, to really hear the impact of it. Of course, this surround effect, nah, it really does sound like, I don't know, kind of like a comb filtering thing. Maybe it's really cool on a single instrument, really want to make something stereo and it's not. Kind of like that pseudo stereo thing doing with an EQ. Let's turn that off and let's just try this drive and see what that's like. So I guess that boosts the signal 4 dBs. Okay, I do have the pre-drive. I get it. It does have to do something. The gain compensation is not that good. So it does boost when you do this drive, especially as much as I've done. I'm struggling to hear the difference, honestly. Like I was expecting a lot more color, so to speak. Volume up my speakers a bit more to hear it. So it's quite subtle, and that would tell me that it's something you could place on a master track, but everything else, like, not so much. Let's see about the EQ. Let's see what the EQ sounds like. try these mids as well. So I'm gonna boost them up all the way and see what they're boosting. I'm not a fan. If this is supposed to be a challenge strip for a single instrument, compared to everything today, I think that the color it gives is not nearly enough color to, at least, maybe I'm not hearing it. Maybe you guys hear it better, let me know. I don't think this is enough color for like a single instrument. And then again, this EQ, I don't think it offers enough control, for a single instrument. Correct me if I'm wrong, like, blast me in the comments. But honestly, I don't think this is worth it. I think the curves are nice for the highs and the lows, don't get me wrong, and it has the MS possibility, that's cool. But if this was meant for a single instrument, not enough drive, not enough control as well, maybe for some broad strokes, completely fine. I would expect a broad EQ like this to work better on on the master, when you don't have so much control, you just have shelves. And then opposite to that, this mid EQ is quite narrow, I guess, for like a boost. At least in my opinion. Doesn't mean it would be like bad on everything. It's just, it's free, but I don't think I would use it. I don't think the color is enough of a justification to use something that doesn't give me so much option. Like, I was not a fan of all of these neural modeling things anyways, but some of these plugins actually do sound nice and have nice algos, and I might check out some more of theirs because they really sampled some really cool, I don't know, limiters, compressors, EQs, so many of them. Like, going through that Aquarius installation software of theirs have so many EQs, so many compressors, because I saw some of them being parametric, with a lot of control. So I'm wondering, what is the difference in between all of those equalizers, justifying the price they're sold at, or the enormous size in megabytes that they take basically for all of the, modeling. I guess some people prefer this. I'm really not sure why. Like, in this day and age, are you really so nostalgic for the analog feel? And I understand it's the details. It really is, like, it's the smallest 1 or 2% of the sheen or that magic touch that something's going to provide. I'm not a fan. Not being a fan doesn't mean I'm not gonna give it a chance. And I can't see me picking this up for any use. Like, usually it would be like, maybe it's good on mass, maybe it's good for just like a separate tracks, maybe I would use this on drums or whatnot, but I really don't see this being useful. Like, if they really wanted to lure you into the ecosystem, I was hoping that they would give you something super complete. Give you one plugin free, that's amazing, with like a limiter, and like give you a taste, basically, why not, of all of those that are not pro. Just give you, if it has like 5 models, just give you one. Give you one amazing one, making you wish you could buy the others, pay some money extra to get the others. This doesn't really lure me in. This doesn't, give me a taste of anything amazing. If they gave me a great one that I would use on every track, I'm sure I would buy another one. I'm sure I would just like, this is amazing. I want to buy one more to have a different color, if this was so useful. But it's not. It doesn't pass. I have to put something weird, some weird face on the thumbnail. Expect that. I guess you already saw that when you're watching this. So if you don't know what I'm talking about half the time, a free course that's 40 plus hours long is completely free, and it's in the description, thanks to 11.org. If you hate my stupid glasses, say something. You can see the background through the glasses. Look at that. And if you don't agree with me on Acustica audio, say something. If you like the video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please do. It would help the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.